everyone, Joshua Hanlon here at Philly Brick Fest 2019, and so we're coming to you live from the convention floor hall right here. As you can see behind me, there's tons of builds and awesome builders with all their creations on display here at Philly Brick Fest. And so to start off the live stream, I've got one of the talented builders right here. So if you want to introduce yourself, and then as we talk about the builds, we'll have different builders joining us throughout the live stream here. But yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure, thanks Josh. My name is Jason Midoff. I'm actually the creator of the Lego Christmas Story House. A lot of people might remember that build from last year. So we're here again. We're actually trying that build again, a little bit smaller. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then we've got some other new builds, not necessarily Lego ideas, but other projects that we're working on.
Exactly. So before we dive into that, let's take a look at this build you've got kind of right here in front of you. So explain what this is and how this came together.
Sure. So this is the Notre Dame cathedral in Paris. It just happened to be kind of a crazy coincidence, everything that happened last week. My daughter and I actually designed this last year while our Christmas Story house was in Lego Review, just to try something a little different, something architecturally a little more difficult. And we came up with the Notre Dame Cathedral, and especially after what happened last week, we got a lot of attention with it. So,
right.
Again, it's not a Lego idea, but it is all modular too. Everything I build is kind of like that. I don't know how well people will be able to see, but it actually comes apart fully.
So kind of the back taken off there,
yeah. Back taken off, and then the front comes off. And then it's actually got kind of the altar that's in the cathedral. The part that actually survived the fire.
Yeah, so as you were building this, were you looking at photos of the real building and kind of piecing it all together?
Yep. So my wife and I had visited a few years ago for our 10-year anniversary. And that's exactly what I did. I took photos that we had, found photos online, and I just kind of wanted to stick to the 32 by 32 footprint. It's meant to kind of fit right in my daughter's village, so it will attach to her pet store and the movie theater on the other side.
Just fits right in, yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, it's a fantastic build, and so there's so many like crazy angles and types of designs within Notre Dame. Talk about the pieces you use to achieve those different, with the color of the piece or the type of the piece.
So one of the neat things, I don't know if folks can see in the front, there's actually a whole series of statues in the front. And one of the challenges is on a 32 by 32 base plate, it's an even number, right? But really you want to end on the same piece, which means you have to make it odd.
Right.
So it's a little bit tricky to kind of build a pattern that extended it just a tiny bit out each side to put those statues in there. The other really neat thing that we did, I'll put this back in, is
gotta line everything up there.
Yep, we created the stained glass window in the front. So when the back is off and it lights in the back, you can see it really well. And that was just a matter of using a bunch of translucent bricks of all different colors, and that really added a lot to it. And then we used little frogs and dinosaurs for gargoyles.
There you go. Yeah, and some of those small pieces can achieve so much detail in a smaller build like this.
Yep. And the back of it, you can kind of see the flying buttresses that Notre Dame is famous for. These are like the old insectoid legs that we used to do that. And then we just kind of built the spire out of, these are old spears and things like that to kind of create that angle up at the top, up to the cross. And then there's a series of statues that are also come off the roof.
Yeah. And you've got even like the little gray pieces here again to create those little, gargoyle type designs.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
it turned out really well. People asked me how long it took. It was a very organic process. It was really only a couple of weeks of just kind of playing around. And then my daughter actually built the whole thing. I sat down with her, but she put it together. And she's 10.
Well, great work, yeah, to you and your daughter. That's really impressive. Would you like to expand on the model at all and make it bigger, or?
At this point, not necessarily. I mean, if you're going to make it like the real Notre Dame, you'd probably add another 32 out the back. But again, the idea of it was just kind of fit the facade of it right in her village.
Okay.
So I think we kind of accomplished that. But eventually, I could always do that.
Sure,
it's a possibility.
Well, very impressive. So yeah, thanks for showing that to us. We'll move on to the project we mentioned earlier then, which is the Christmas Story House. So I think last year we talked to here at the show.
Maybe I'll start with
Yes.
the last year project.
So this was the one we showed everyone last year.
So we were watching the coverage from Philly Brick Fest last year. We'll be familiar with this
Model. So just briefly take us through this and kind of the story behind that, and then we'll look at the updated model.
Sure. So people may remember our Lego Christmas Story house did achieve the 10,000 supporters on Lego Ideas. It actually made it to the Lego review process, but unfortunately wasn't selected. They don't tell you why, they make it a point not to tell you why.
Yeah.
So we just did a little bit of research. We figured the average piece count of what they normally approve is right around 800 pieces. This is over 2,000. So what we ended up doing was we tried to scale it down, still keep all the fun of A Christmas Story, but in a much smaller set, and keep our fingers crossed that maybe we can make it happen a second time through.
There you go, yeah. So then let's transition into
Sure.
the updated one then. So we're going to
Sure.
slide this
Yep,
over for you.
Slide this over.
There you go.
Put the bowling ball on Mr. Parker's lap. Of course, we've got our bumper sounds. So what we did is we created the first floor of the house. It's basically what you saw in the original house. So it's got the parents, it's got Ralphie in his bunny costume. It's got the cowboy shooting out the back window, Cowboy Ralphie, the mom with the turkey. Of course, it's got the leg lamp for the front window. So a few things. Number one was the piece count on this is right around 800 pieces. And that's kind of right in the sweet spot of what Lego normally approves. There's other reasons why maybe they didn't approve it. Licensing is a possibility, but we just won't know. But Christmas Story is Warner Brothers. They did the Lego movie. I'm hoping that wasn't the reason.
Right.
So this is something I could control, so I thought we'd try again. We also added the flagpole scene. So Flex got his
A
tongue
very
stuck to the
iconic
flagpole.
part, obviously, that people would be familiar with.
Yep, exactly. And then the car with the trunk that opens up and the tire in the back. So people can do their own punch. We also made the link hopefully a lot easier for people to remember. You know, rather than the random series of letters and numbers. It's bit.ly/tripledogdare.
Okay.
Like, Triple Dog Dare is kind of the
Yeah,
famous
exactly.
movie, so bit.ly is just a short link /tripledogdare, so hopefully people can go out and vote for a new set.
So this is on Ideas right now then for
This
people
is
that
out
want
there
to.
right
Okay.
now, exactly. We gotta get all the way back to 10,000, hopefully get this back in front of the Lego review board, and make A Christmas Story an official set.
Yeah, exactly. So now you did get the one project to 10,000 votes, so which is certainly an accomplishment
Yep.
in itself. Now you've got this new project. So talk about kind of what that journey has been like for you, what you've learned along the way.
Yeah, so it's almost more difficult the second time through. You know, people really like the first project. So one thing I tried to do with the second one is build it as the first floor, so that if people wanted to expand to that, they could always start with this as a starting point. Probably the most confusing thing is people think they already voted, right?
Yeah,
so
okay.
they voted for the initial project, there's a new one, the assumption is they already voted, so it's...
They're just glancing at it and they think, oh, I've already seen
voted
it. Yeah.
for it, right? But this is a new project. One really neat thing I did want to talk about is the actor who plays Randy in the movie. We just found out a few weeks ago, he lives like 10 minutes from our house.
Oh,
He
wow.
just moved close to us, so we became like friends with him. So that's a really kind of neat twist. So we're still getting kind of all these surreal moments associated with our project every day, it seems. So I'm just going to focus on the journey. Hopefully we can make it all the way back again. But if not, it's been a really, really amazing experience.
Awesome. Well, yeah, so definitely everyone go out and check that out on Ideas. Vote for the new project if you were a fan of the old one, or maybe this is the first time you're seeing this. Definitely go check it out if you're a fan of A Christmas Story. I like what you've done. You know, there's definitely something to be said for keeping, you know, the Lego approval process in mind. Obviously, you could upload your, you know, massive build of whatever it might be, but they aren't going to approve that probably.
You're exactly right. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. So we tried to, again, just doing the average piece count. This fits right in with what they typically approve. So keeping our fingers crossed.
Yes, for sure. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Good luck with the project.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it so much.
So thanks for bringing the builds over here.
Happy to do it.
Yeah, awesome. So we'll give us a minute to transition to the next builder here, and we'll bring it all in. So we can help you move some of this stuff off. Yeah.
Great.
Second here.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yep. So we'll have another builder coming in, another builder we actually talked with last year as well. So one you might be familiar with. Give him a minute to come up here. Hopefully he doesn't drop any of the builds. There you go. Thank you. Okay, so John has just informed me that we have the live chat going here. So if anyone has questions or anything like that about Philly, about the convention here, the guests we're talking to, or anything like that, feel free to let us know in the chat, and we're happy to let, answer your questions to the best of our ability. So now, with the next builder we have up, if you want to introduce yourself, let people know what you brought us.
Yeah, hi, I'm Andrew Clark, the fan designer behind Doctor Who and most recently the Flintstones. So the Flintstones set was released very recently.
Make sure to talk into the mic here, just to make sure everyone can hear you.
Okay. So this is the official set box of the Flintstones, and this version here is the prototype I submitted to LEGO Ideas about a year and a half ago now. So it's a very cool and interesting process. You think, what are you a fan of? What would I like to see as a LEGO set? You temper that with what's realistic, because you may look Game of Thrones, but they probably wouldn't do it during these blood and gore violence. So you think about something that's wholesome fun, but something cool, something they would likely do. Resonate with fans. Different sets of different hooks. Like with this, it's partly nostalgia. With other sets, it may be different things. It's Jason Alleman, who does not really IP-based stuff. The hook there is like the ingenuity, the movement, the very kinetic, alive.
Right.
He brings Lego to life. That's his thing, and I guess me doing the IP things I'm nostalgic about, and I enjoy. That's kind of my approach. It's kind of the opposite, kind of very different, but we've both had success doing our own way.
So for people who are looking at this and think it looks familiar, we talked to you last year about this project before I believe it got reached the 10,000 votes and everything, and so it was still on its way. So I guess picking up from kind of where we left off last year, talk about what the journey has been like since then, once it got the 10,000 votes and everything, and now it's obviously become an official set, and what that's like.
Oh yeah, it's very cool. Basically. The last time I was here, it was very close to getting all the votes needed. It was about 1,000 or 500 shy votes of the 10,000 threshold, and then soon after it got the votes needed, and then it formally enters the LEGO review along with the other projects that got the 10,000 votes, and then they ask you for information like, do you have any extra photos or building instructions so they can create what you've done and then help them review it better, the more information you give them. Fortunately mine did pass review, and I got to see the prototypes they've done, the test models the designers done, so that's very cool, interesting process to see how they go about it, and and of course I got to give my thoughts and input, like my thoughts on the official design they've got, and so it's a very cool process, and I'm glad to be a part of it. And of course I got to do a cool signing event dressed as I was dressed in character as Fred, and it's very suitable because of my caveman arms.
You were really born for this
character. I was born for this role. I'm born for this role.
So where all was that? Just one store? Where all was that you did the signing?
That was Arundel Mills in I think is in Baltimore. I don't. To be honest, my wife drives me places. I don't like driving. Arundel Mills Mall, and so I got to do a signing in character, and that's very cool. And the Lego stuff there, hadn't done one before, so they were very excited, and it's nice to see all the fans, and yeah, it's a great experience, and it's also a great experience coming here because I get to get interviewed. So
yes, yeah, we always love chatting with you, and now you're part of a very small exclusive club of people with 2 ideas projects that have been approved and turned into official sets. So talk about what that's like, and what I guess the entire journey. Starting with Doctor Who, which was the first one, and this one now. What these years have been like for you as you've continued down this process?
It's an evolving process. I'm always evolving my process or thoughts. When it comes to a LEGO Ideas set, when they release a final product, or they are deciding on a product to release, all the people from the different departments, I'm sure, talk about it in depth, the pros, the cons. And as a project creator, I try to think of it in as much depth as they would to see, because it takes a while to create a project. You want to be sure, one, it's something they allow on the site in the first place, and I'm always constantly involved in my build techniques, how to make it more efficient. For example, the chimney here, originally when I created it, it was just stacked bricks, whereas this version, having it clad with the longer plates, there's less parts involved, and it means you can put these kind of stonework on the side. So it's more part efficient, and so yeah, I'm just constantly evolving what's the best process to do, and evolving my presentation techniques on the site, trying to mimic the official look of like Lego images and that kind of thing. So yeah, definitely. So I've got the car here as well. This is my prototype. Just try to make it look cool and interesting and dynamic. There's something that should have changed from the official model, but that's just part of the idea process most of the time.
Yeah, they switched some things up on the. Well, what were some of the differences between like this and the official model? So people who see this can see how it changed.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, to show the box on again. This is the official version.
Okay.
So what they changed was on the official version, it's got fabric on the roof, which is more show accurate, but it's not something I could have proposed because they don't allow you to propose new molds or elements. And although this technically isn't a mold,
right, obviously if you're like cutting fabrics and things.
Fabric, if I'd have put it up like this, they wouldn't have allowed it on the site.
Okay.
So honestly, didn't notice, but I knew not to do that. And they've some of the internal things were missing, and they got rid of the base of the car, which I just added for display. Like if you've got a new shelf at work, or whatever. But or it's more dynamically posed. But they obviously felt like the part count was best used elsewhere. So and the bedrock sign went away. But it's just part of the process that things change, and there's no ideas project that becomes an official set without some changes. So it's just something you accept. And even artwork I do at work for computer games. It gets little tweaks here and there before it goes in the final product. I get asked to change this and change that. Right. So it's just the nature of
the process.
The process.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's fascinating to hear how this has gone. So now with the Doctor Who project and Flintstones, do you have much like personal correspondence with the Lego designers who take over the project, or do you get the chance to talk with them very much?
I do get a chance. I do have like 2 Skype sessions, and sometimes I talk with them occasionally off there. But obviously, I get to give my thoughts as a fan designer, and and there's a bit of a back and forth, and I give my. At work, I have been in occasion, been in positions where I gave feedback. Maybe I give a little bit too much. Maybe it's a little bit annoying. I can be a bit annoying.
No, never.
This one brick, you should have moved it. One stood over here. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so.
Yeah, but it comes from a place of like love and care. You want the product to be the best possible product that it can be.
Yeah. Visually, visually, and in all aspects. You can have something that looks good, but if it falls apart when you look at it, it's not much good. But I'm passionate about the end result, which is why I'm very detail oriented. That's why some people use another term. If something comes to mind, I can't say maybe.
We'll go with that for now. Well, very nice. So you do have your next project though, which we definitely want to talk about, and gotta start getting the word out there. So you've got 2 successful ideas projects, but you aren't stopping there. You're gonna keep going. So let's show what the next project.
Well, I'm gonna keep going until they either stop me and create some Andy rule, the Andy rule. You can only win 2. I don't know, whatever.
That's right.
Or I run out of IPs that interest me or whatever. Now I do have a Thunderbirds project that's up there already based on the new series that has about 7,000 plus votes. But a lot of the fandom also is with the original series.
Okay.
So I created one based on the original series here.
Get all the parts in here. While you're doing that, another thing that I'll ask you about before we start here is I think it's interesting that you've mentioned a few times about how IP-based your designs are. So is that something very purposeful with you? Have you considered creating sort of non-IP-based projects, or what's your kind of thinking there?
I think what it is when I'm passionate or very interested in a certain subject matter, like Doctor Who, the Flintstones, a lot of them come, maybe it's because I'm middle-aged, it comes from nostalgia.
Yeah.
But you know, you have fond memories growing up of a certain show. Like with the Thunderbirds, it had all these cool, epic, large, detailed vehicles, practical vehicles, not CG. And because of that, they still hold to look good. You know, you look at some CG graphics from 20 years ago, maybe it looks a bit nasty and not a bit crude. Whereas the practical effects kind of hold their age better. You know, being based on physical models. Sure. You know, with all the finely handily crafted things. So I like that aspect of it. And I thought this would be something that's fun, engaging, nostalgic, and has a lot of the you know, the core Lego colours. You know, the core ones, the green, yellow, reds, and
so those iconic colours that people associate with Lego.
Iconic colours they associate with Lego, so it seems very Lego. The vehicles by themselves, the vehicles for Thunderbirds are very kind of follow a lot of the bold colour schemes. So they have that in common. A lot of them are kind of blocky or chunky and that kind of thing. And the fun and excitement of the show is not violence, it's more exciting, like, you know, like tension kind of thing. So it seems appropriate from that point of view. Now playability is important with this model. So I've got the cockpit here on the inside. The cockpit is on there like that. It's attached by two studs, so it quickly comes off. Not too little, not too much clutch power, so it won't fall off during play, but it's easy enough for a kid in the house.
You can access it.
Take it off. So it's got the micro fix here. Now, this being the physical model, doesn't have any of the uniquely printed stuff that I'll show you in a minute. So for an ideas project, I tend to do a mixture of renders and the physical model. The renders show the concept of what it could ultimately look like with all the graphics and all the parts in the right colours, which this doesn't have. This physical model shows its feasibility as a real set. Like, I can pick it up and play with it, and because it doesn't have any physics, these CG programs like LDD or whatever. So you're just guessing or thinking it'll work, but you need to be sure.
Right.
Right. So okay. Because this design has a unique kind of the way it was built. So the pod here can house this vehicle and Thunderbird 4, and they fit inside, both of them. And then it slots back in here like that. The legs can also, these are for landing. They just easily come off. And so basically when I'm looking at it for reference of this, I get all the different orthographic views. That means a perfect side view, top view, rear, 3/4 views, for every kind of view, to get as much reference as possible. Then try to replicate, in this case, all the more complex curvature of the thing. Now in this case, it had this very unique kind of taper to it. So I had to use hinge plates, and I had to make sure that this didn't stress the elements where it met up here, because it had to, you know, you don't want to have to like flex the bricks or
Lego doesn't look kindly on that.
No, they don't do that. It's guaranteed to get a complete redesign if you do stuff like that. So yeah, so I had to make sure it's both aesthetically looks good, but also it's feasible. Like, you're not trying to force it to fit. So it's pretty strong, and microfig just came out. So it's strong. So basically, so here the angle is 90 degrees. Here it isn't. And then the angle you have here, I think is equal opposite the way it comes out here. So then it goes out straight again for the engine. Okay. So then you see the slight gap here, or the slight gap here. That's just the nature of the build. So it's very solid, very strong, and yeah, the pod fits in, it just slides in like that. Yeah, it falls out if you do that, but maybe they consider it an issue, maybe not, who knows, but
how does it stay in there when you put it in there? What holds that in? Okay, so in here you've got these kind of hinge plates here that protrude out. Yeah.
Now originally they were hitting this bit here, But I added these cheese slopes here, which guide it fractionally away so that it never completely touches. But then as it goes further down, these hinge plates here touch on these protruding parts here. And likewise on the front, there's a piece here, which they may want to widen or put on either side, but it seems to do a good job, and they're attached very firmly, so if you were to push down on this, it wouldn't kind of detach. Additionally, this bit along here, that's part of the main model, not the pod, and the one at the back, is at least level or protrudes further down than the bottom of the pod. That way, if you were to press down on this, it doesn't detach, you know, the elements that keep it in place.
Exactly.
So I try to think through every aspect of the design. Is it stable, holding it in every way? Can you hold it like by the wing? Oh, maybe slightly came off, but not fully.
Right.
Not fully. Anyway, so no, this piece obviously is in the wrong color. It's in dark green, but that protrudes all the way in. But yeah, so I try to think of what's the best possible way to go about it, and so what I do have additionally is that's the physical model. See if I can bring it up on the...
Yeah, pull up some of the digital...
It's not my laptop, I don't know how to work it. Has it just died?
Let's see, is it...
There it is. Okay, so this is an image of it, a render I did of it in the hangar. So I rendered it off by itself, and to have a white background, so you could just view it as it is, but then also in context of how it could appear with background art in the hangar in context. So this is it with all the printed parts. It'll be printed with the cockpit windows, the two, because it's Thunderbird 2, and on the side, and so the micro figures here give it a sense of scale, just gives you the normative of just how big the thing is. Because without them, you've got no frame of reference really. So they give a frame of reference to scale. And then the minifig, they're very popular with fans. You couldn't realistically do it minifig scale for an idea set. Although Voltron has pushed the boundaries of what's possible size-wise with an idea set. So the minifig here, that gives fans the minifigure they want. It's more detail in the microfig. It's a lot larger, and then printed, and it simulates being inside the cockpit seat. And then you got the Thunderbirds sign printed on the tile, which I think fans of the show, you know, like
to be like a collectible item almost.
Yeah, just put it on there, like I do at work. I put the Ghostbusters set on my shelf or whatever, and you can imagine that, you know. But at its core, it's got playability.
Right.
So it satisfies that need, and then the nostalgia of adults, and so kids and adults like it. A bit like the Flintstones, you know. It's
exactly. It can
you know.
transcend those boundaries, sort of.
Transcend, a bit like beyond the brick. Transcend the brick.
We're just really clicking it.
Transcend the brick.
So I think you sort of touched on this a little bit, but just to clarify, you felt like kind of a minifig scale version of that would just be too big for an ideas project?
It would be not feasible, and I don't think, you got to think, does the popularity of it warrant, you know, a set that size?
Yeah.
And what, as I have found, what would I be willing to pay for a Lego set based on this? Now, if the Flintstones was a 5,000 part Lego set, would I be willing to spend $500 on it? No. I mean, some people put things on the site that they themselves wouldn't be willing to pay that amount for.
Right.
Like, well, if you're not willing to, why would anyone else?
Exactly. So, you could say maybe step number one with ideas for people putting projects out there is like, think about it yourself as a fan. Like, if you saw this on the shelf, would you pay that price, or like buy a set based on that IP that's that large or something? You really think through kind of critically your idea before even putting it out there.
Try to be objective.
Yeah.
Almost treat it like almost like a job in a way. Like you know, that I'm still a passionate fan of the subject matter and Lego and the IP. But thinking about it in a professional way, because ultimately if it became a real set, that's what it'd be. It'd be an actual product, which has to be thought about in those regards, in that way, kind of like the feasibility, the size. I think this is the perfect scale for a Thunderbird set, for Thunderbird 2. Any smaller, and the microfigs themselves would get too big.
Okay.
They wouldn't fit in the cockpit, or you couldn't get a detailed version of this, of Thunderbird 4, that looks like. This is about as small as you can get, where it's still got the detail that it's recognizable as being what it's supposed to be. And then it's just small enough that it fits inside the pod, and the pod's just small enough so that it fits inside the main vehicle. So this is about, I think, as compact as you want to get it for, for a set that has, the level of detail that it does. So.
And it's certainly still a good size, like with the extra vehicles and everything. I think this would certainly still be a kit that people could be very happy with. Was there anything that you were not able to include here? I'm not super familiar with the show, so are there other elements of the show that maybe you hoped you could include and just haven't been able to in the project? Or maybe if it was chosen as a set, maybe Lego would expand on that and add something else?
I would say with these two vehicles, you've got Thunderbird 4 and the elevator car. Now, all the different vehicles that Thunderbird 2, which is this, can carry, they all serve different purposes. This one's for underwater missions. Now they do have like probably 10 other vehicles or so. You can't realistically include them all. It's like Doctor Who, you can't have all the doctors in the set. It's not realistic or feasible, so you have to choose the main ones. Now this one is one of the main ones because it's called Thunderbird 4 and it does underwater. Now a lot of the other designs have a lot of caterpillar tracks, like tank tracks. Now that'd be very small and fiddly to build maybe for a kid, and a lot of them. So this one was good, it's nice and red and bold, and this one. But there are other vehicles I may investigate as updates, and if a lot of the fans in the comments say, hey, you made a mistake here, you should have included this one as the main one. And if I hear that a lot, then I'm like,
maybe switch something up.
Maybe I'll switch something up. Or maybe in the updates just offer a few more suggestions, because that's what I do with the Ideas project. It's like, you can't read the review people's minds, and what you may think of as being your favourite may not be theirs or the fans. So sometimes I propose a little bit extra, and then Lego can like pare it down to what they think is the essentials. I think that's what they do. They optimise it in terms of to get the most for the set size, price range, and everything. So
it seems like some of the key with Ideas then is definitely like not getting too attached to the project to the point that you aren't willing to change things up, and sort of you have to be flexible with it and listen to that feedback from fans and from Lego, and figure out what's actually going to be able to make a good product.
Definitely, because it doesn't matter how knowledgeable you are or smart or experienced, it's almost impossible to think of everything from every aspect. There's almost always something that's occurred to someone else that hasn't occurred to you. So it's good to look at the comments and try to evaluate based on the merit and not how I'm outraged they didn't like, how dare they say that
every time someone mentions that.
They didn't like that, how could they not like that? So I just try to think of it like critically and
Right. I think that's really good advice. We commonly get questioned that there's always new people putting projects on Ideas. I think they're always looking for, what can they do to get the word out there and really make their project the best. I think that kind of stuff is stuff that is maybe more often overlooked. That kind of, the way you're thinking about the project and everything is important as much as kind of how you're getting it out there to the public.
Yeah, it's a mixture of, sure, you can be passionate about the subject matter, but not to the point where it interferes with what's the right thing to do for it, that kind of thing. So you have to be, because I've worked on many computer games in the past and in my career, and the things that were changed or got rid of completely, and you just have to realize that a lot of the time it's for the good of the final thing. So
exactly. And you mentioned something that I don't think I've heard a lot of Ideas people mention, kind of people with projects, is that you look at the comments on the Ideas project for feedback. So talk about kind of that process and how you keep an eye on that and what that's back and forth sort of with the people responding to the project.
Right. Now, if it's just the odd one or two people who say things that are kind of like more isolated comments, but if there seems to be like a trend, a lot of people are saying similar things like add this or add that, then that's something I will consider. I know with Doctor Who, a lot of them were like, add Tom Baker or, add this doctor, and you have to just weigh up as to whether or not you think you have to try and be objective about it, and think, is that a good idea, and because you can't keep, no matter how good a project is, no matter how good an official Lego set is, you can't please all the people all the time in every respect. You can't, like I said, you can't have 13 Doctors and Doctor Who's in the set. You've got to pare it down. With mine, what I chosen was the two most recent incarnations at that time, and that kind of made sense. And I understood. And there's nothing to say if a set doesn't do fantastically well, they can't revisit a certain IP with more sets to offer more content.
For sure, we saw that with Minecraft. That's how Minecraft started, right? With the ideas or Crusoe project, and then building a massive theme.
Yeah, I mean, it got the 10,000 votes in like a day or something crazy. So then it came as a little surprise to me when there were additional sets based on it.
Yeah.
So it is possible. It has happened. Every LEGO Ideas project and the path to 10,000 votes is different. If you were to look at every LEGO Ideas set that exists now, like the box art and the set, in one big image or next to each other, you can see how they all look kind of unique and distinctive, the packaging, and that's maybe what you want to do. I mean, like this one, predominantly green. Is it a predominantly green one? I don't think so.
Exactly.
But it's also something that's like a spaceship or I mean, it's in the atmosphere too, like a ship. So that's something that hasn't really been done before. So I try to look at it from all aspects, like they themselves would in the review. I try to approach it like putting a lot of thought into it is definitely an important thing.
I love that, yeah, no, and you can tell that with your project. So did you ever think you'd reach this point where you are now with 2 official sets and then also, working on more and hopefully in the future?
Yeah, the Doctor Who one was very cool. I wasn't expecting it. I knew that about 100 people submitted designs based on Doctor Who, and the fact that 2 got 10k votes within the same review period gave me quite a lot of confidence that one would be chosen. Mine had the added benefit of being able to emulate the bigger on the inside feature, so I felt confident in that regard. With the Flintstones, I knew there was a lot of nostalgia associated with it. I think I'd captured the fun and essence and character of the show pretty well. I felt fairly confident, but I didn't know anything for certain until I was informed, and it was very exciting. It felt a bit surreal, like, what, wait, what? Really? Okay. But yeah, it was cool, and it's I mean, they had design jobs here in America, LEGO.
You'd be all.
Yeah.
Yeah. At some point, I mean, how many projects do you get ideas before they're like, we just want to hire you?
Save yourself some money and hire. No, I'm just kidding. No, it sounds bad.
Yeah, is that something you thought about? Would you potentially want to work for, like, as a LEGO designer, if that opportunity came along someday?
I definitely like the idea, but I have to look beyond just myself.
Yeah.
Because it would involve relocating my whole family.
Exactly.
And doesn't necessarily mean they'd be interested, even if I was willing. But I do like designing things with play features and making it fun. I mean, some people design these epically large things. Huge models.
Right.
Whereas I prefer the things you can hold in your hand and swoosh about. Something that I did as a kid and enjoy now, and something that's kind of detailed and features, and something you don't need a team of people to lift about. I like the small to medium to around the 750 part count ranges. The sets I like to design.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple giant Star Wars ships here that you saw them moving them in, but yeah, they're like custom built wooden crates and everything. So some of the stuff is just crazy, the logistics just to get it on display.
I know, they look great, don't get me wrong, I love the look of them, but I prefer, when it comes to creating, I'd rather have something small and accurate and detailed, well, not to say that isn't, but just something
it's much more playable, like you said.
Yeah.
Much more practical, especially when you think about a kid. Yeah.
Something that's fit in the box.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, before we move on to our next guest on the live stream here, remind people, so where can they check out your ideas, projects, and what's happening?
Okay, so this one, based on the Thunderbirds. Now, I do have one based on the new series that has around 7,000 votes that you can vote on, and very appreciated if you want to. Now this one based on the new series, based on the original series, 1960s series, this one's very close to being submitted. So in the next month or so, within a month, I'll have the open ideas with the link, and people can vote for it, and I'll be sure to give you the link.
Yeah, awesome. So everyone watching, check out the project Andrew has out there right now, and you can vote for that, and then also keep an eye out for this one coming. Look at this futurability.
Yeah,
I mean, how can you say no to that? So you got to check it out. But thank you, Andrew. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Thanks for bringing the builds over.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Bye.
So once again, just give us a minute. We'll move in your next couple guests here and continue the live stream from Philly Brick Fest. John has been running around, keeping everything going, getting guests up here. So I'm not sure the chat we haven't been able to keep a close eye on. So hopefully we'll be able to run through and answer some of your questions. John, feel free to just give us a shout if there's anything pressing or any questions you see there. So feel free to have a seat here. We can move the laptop over. Awesome. So we've got Lego and books. So we've got all sorts of stuff.
Yes, we do.
So if you want to introduce yourself to the viewers, then let us know what you brought.
Hi, I'm Megan Rothrock, and I am the co-author of this brand new book, Construct Adventure, Building with Sid and Friends. And basically, it is a story, but it's also got building experiences in it. I'm co-authoring it with my partner Jim Folds. We were both at Lego. I did product design, and he was on the community team, of course.
So you're very experienced in this department then. You have a lot of history with Lego.
And I've also am the author of the Lego Adventure Book series as well.
Okay, yeah. So anyone out there who owns those books, this is some more of the background then.
Yes, yeah. We announced it at Brick Fair last August, and now we're super excited because it just came out on Amazon last night. So all you have to do is just throw Construct Adventure into the search, and it'll come right up, and it's an ebook and print on demand as well.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, check that out. This sounds like an idea. So talk about how the book ties in with the physical build you have here.
Right. So this is Sid, and Sid's the main character of our first book. And I had the curious challenge when I teamed up with Jim to create a book and a project that was not echoing or repeating the Lego Adventure book in any way. So we went off minifig scale, as you can clearly see. We call this Sid scale because Sid is not minifig, not Miniland, not Fabuland, just some sort of
just kind of in his own
somewhere
land
in between.
there. Yeah,
exactly. But that created a whole bunch of super fun challenges when you get into things like structures. Thankfully, Jim has built these gorgeous, gorgeous structures for the book. As you can see, we have
Yeah, that's beautiful. All the details, the tile work, and everything there.
Thank you. Yes, this is Morgan. He's into collecting Lego and possibly not really sharing it with others. But he's very particular about his things, and things go a bit awry in his chapter. This is also a nice little Easter egg for anyone that's familiar with the Lego Adventure Book series, where Daniel Prince, who's the original designer of the Lego Yellow Castle, which we all covet and love, I put this in as a little tribute to him as well. I have several tributes going through the Lego Adventure Book, but I also couldn't resist building a mini micro castle and call it Castle Prince.
Yes, that's fantastic. I love that detail. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's really fun. You were able to put that, really honor one of those original Lego designers.
Yes, because he really did build most of our childhoods.
Yeah.
And was a fantastic person as well. So that was a fun thing to add in. There's all sorts of design tips in here and building tips and fun models to do. And we're going to take it beyond the pages as well. We have a full social media platform that everybody can jump into as well.
Fantastic. So are those pages out there right now as well if people want to start following you?
Yes, we have @CavClicks. We broke Google, so if you just do @CavClicks in Google, we come up everywhere.
That's what you want, complete saturation.
Yes, absolutely.
So talk a little bit more about the layout of the book. So I see there's obviously a lot of text here, and reading. So is this meant to be read sort of like comic book style, or how does that work?
Yeah, and you could say that. It's I do all the layout as well, and I wanted to make it fun and engaging, but still have a nice story to it. So yeah, it's comic book style, and then We've got building instructions that pop in now and again. The mutant pets is one of my favorite. And we have these little guys too, the Zerlings. They don't really have text per se. They speak in iconography, which was also very fun to do. Where's the example of it? Here we go.
Find the right page there. Okay.
So there's some iconography that they speak in. And then later you can see how to build their boulder and their stick and things.
So they're communicating through small Lego builds, basically,
Yes,
in the book.
that's exactly how they communicate. They have no actual text verbiage whatsoever. So that was really fun to do. But it's been a really, really fun project. It's been 2 years in the making, these guys, believe it or not. So I've been a bit off out into the secret designer cave for quite some time. And yeah, we're really excited. We're ready to go now and share and tell everybody about it. So thanks so much for having us on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm glad you could sit down and let people know. So once again, the book's on Amazon. You can follow them on social media. So I think you mentioned this is maybe your first book. Is there plans to expand on this kind of idea, add new characters, that sort of thing?
Oh, absolutely, yes. We have, these are the core characters, and we have a whole other cast of characters that I've already worked out, and more coming in all the time. It's inspiration all around the corner, so it's fantastic. So definitely going to expand on the storybooks and the story building, and also some other cool top secret stuff I can't talk about yet.
Yeah, I know, but you'll have more out there. So
Yes.
so speaking of kind of inspiration, was there any particular inspiration for this idea, doing the book and the character, or was it just kind of all your combined years of Lego building and designing stuff? This is just the culmination of that?
It is sort of the culmination of that. Jim and I did a lot of research. We looked at what Lego brick-based building books were going on, not only just Lego, but construction books, stories with kids, and sharing and communicating. And we basically wanted to do something totally out of the box and different from what was going on, and of course not repeat the Lego Adventure book as well. So yes, and when I was at Lego, these lovely mini ball joint parts are one of my favorite elements. So once those finally came out to the public through Mixels, I was very excited because then I could actually incorporate them properly into my models, and it's been really good because his posability is just off the chain.
Right, I saw you playing with it a bit there. You can handstand stuff, whatever you wanted to do.
Skate, surf, whatever you need. Sid can do it all.
So is your goal with people who pick up the book to be building Sid and the other characters and kind of expand on this universe themselves maybe and do stuff like that?
Exactly, to gain inspiration, and maybe there's something in there that a different way of building you hadn't thought about before, or something just clicks, and yeah, it would be great if people can start building, make their own characters, and expand it out and share it.
Sure.
That's what the community's all about.
Yeah, definitely. Would you say there's kind of an age group you're targeting here, adults, kids, or is it something kind of for everyone can get involved in?
It's definitely for everyone, but the core target is 7 to 10.
Okay.
And and pretty much everybody, because everybody loves Lego at some point. But yeah, that's mainly the core is 7 to 10. With the Lego Adventure book, it was more 7 to 10 plus A-falls as well. So again, just trying to get some fun out there for the young building generation coming up, and keep it all going. So yeah, it's very exciting. It's been 2 years altogether since I proposed the idea of doing a book, and we looked at other avenues too. We looked at YouTube as well. But you guys are rocking it out. We don't want to. You guys have it down, so we didn't want to go there.
Oh, there's always more room for more, cool Lego content on YouTube. That's always cool. I love seeing, more people from the community get onto YouTube, and because video is such a unique tool compared to just the traditional
Absolutely.
photo sharing and things. So I think if you guys have ideas, feel free, go for it.
Well, we do have a channel, but there's only about 2 things on it because we got really busy into the character and the book development. But there's a few animation tests on there that people can check out.
Okay, cool. Hopefully we'll see more from you on there. So
Yeah.
you mentioned you announced the idea of Brick Fair, Virginia. I know you're here now at Philly Brick Fest. Are there more conventions that people maybe want to meet you in person and see these ideas, or maybe you'll be announcing more stuff at future
We're definitely
shows?
going to be announcing stuff like I say, the book just hit last night for public, so yeah, we're definitely going to try to get more personal presentations and exposure going through all the fantastic events that go on, for sure.
Okay.
And then we're also working on the next one, so it's always a balance, as you know.
Right, yeah, trying to, always come up with new ideas and focusing on what you got out there and everything. There's always stuff going on.
There's something that comes up, and then you, wow, look at that, and yeah. So yes, it's quite exciting. We're very excited about it.
Yes, awesome. Well, I'm so glad you could come over and chat with me about this Megan.
I'm so glad that you were able to fit me in. That's fantastic. We're stoked.
So once again, anyone just joining the live stream or has been watching here, you can check out the book on Amazon. Follow Construct Adventure on all the social media. You can keep up with what's going on there with Sid and all his friends and whatever the next story might be.
Yes, absolutely. And feel free to comment on the social channels, and you can reach me anywhere. I'm not really that difficult to get a hold of. So we love to get feedback, and we look forward to seeing what happens. I did a book signing for Lab in California just about a week and a half ago, and I brought Sid and a few of the cast along that have been on the social media channels, and it was really great because the kids were excited about Lab, but then when I brought Sid out, it just kind of changed everything, and they just started playing. I finally decided, okay, yes, you can touch the models, because these guys are what I call, these are the stunt models. So of course we have a full set of white glove, pristine photo models, and then we have copies for show, and that's what I brought along. So I let them play with them, and it was their first opening day for Lego Club at the library, and they were so excited. Sid went over and started captaining boats, and Yurt the Yeti took over the snow base that this little 8-year-old gal was building, and it was just super fun. But they were playing with them like a toy rather than just like a Lego model, so it was really neat to see. So that's a good indicator that I think we're onto something good.
Oh, for sure, I think so. So you mentioned that you were used to be a parts designer, right, for Lego? Was that your
product designer?
Or product designer, yes. Okay. So kind of how did that impact building Sid and working on the book? What kind of did you take from that experience and then bring in here?
Well, a lot, because when I was at Lego, I learned a lot more about the deep processes involved with making something stable and buildable for multiple ages. I, of course, put that into my other books. And so, Sid is kind of the culmination of all of those years of experience and trial and error and hair-pulling moments. And he will be a set at some point, too. So if you don't have the parts, you can get a limited edition Sid when we release them, and take it from there.
No, and it's a great little build, so I think people will definitely enjoy being able to buy that and create their own models and everything.
Yeah, definitely,
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Megan. It's great to chat with you. Best of luck with the book going forward and everything. I hope that goes well for you, and look forward to seeing you at more shows and seeing where it goes.
Definitely. Stay tuned, kids. There's a lot more around the bend.
There you go, exactly. So once again, make sure to check it out on Amazon and all the Construct Adventure sources online. You can find that and start following them if it looks like a fun project that you want to pick up.
And get back to us. We love feedback. So
for sure, you can
comment,
build on fans' ideas.
Share, yes.
Awesome stuff.
Awesome.
So we'll continue with the live stream then.
Daniel,
we got
right here.
Our next guest has arrived then. So thank you so much once again, Megan.
All right, thank you so much, guys.
So John, how are the comments looking? Should I be paying attention? Real quick, I see somebody commented any Lego Minecraft can be shown there. There actually is a giant Minecraft layout just to my right over here, and we're definitely going to have a video for you guys on that. It's actually built by the same kid who's had the Minecraft layout the last couple years here at Philly Brick Fest. He's got it bigger and better. I think they actually have like a world record this year, so they've improved on it every year. We'll definitely have a video on that. So now, once again, Daniel, thanks so much for joining me.
As always,
I believe we've chatted with you past Philly Brick Fest
yes.
here. So viewers who watched our coverage in the past might be familiar with Daniel, but for anyone who hasn't seen you before, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Daniel Konstanski, longtime Lego fanatic. Main reason they have me here is because I write for several of the Lego magazines. Both
No, really,
Blocks
it's
and
just your
Brick
winning
Fanatics.
personality.
Oh, of course. And my dashing good
Yes,
looks.
exactly.
Dashing good looks.
The Lego is just a byproduct.
That's right, yeah. It's a nice little added extra. Yeah. I'm with you. Thanks for that. I
Yes,
appreciate
you're
it.
welcome.
You know, I'm starting to feel a little older at these conventions, so
There you
I
go.
appreciate that.
But yeah, that's awesome. So how long have you been building with Lego, or would you say like your history with the Lego community?
I have been building with Lego since I was 3. No Dark Age.
Wow.
So 34 years now? 33 years now, straight.
That is impressive.
Yeah, it's been a while, been fun. Enjoy every bit of it. So
And I know I'll give a shout out to the videos we did with Daniel. I think it was last year at this show. You had some of sort of historical Lego collections that you brought of like sets from the past. Talk a little bit about those, and then make sure to check out those videos that we did with him. You see some of the collections he brought.
yeah, so everyone in the Lego community has their niche, their thing they're passionate about. And for whatever reason, mine has turned out to be the product line and the history and all that. I just can't get enough of it. I was lucky enough to get to go to the Billund last year for the fan media
always
there.
an awesome experience.
Oh,
It's
such
kind
a
of
great
the
experience.
ultimate Lego fan experience.
Exactly. So it was kind of funny, because we had this day where they were letting us interview the different designers and stuff. So, it was Jens and some of the guys who do Star Wars, and everything. And then they kind of offhandedly mentioned, oh yeah, and if anyone wants to talk to them, we've got our Lego historian over here. I was like, there's a Lego, that's a job? There's an official Lego historian? That was the job I was born to have. So I sat her down for 3 hours. We email now. It's fantastic.
Lock yourself in a room.
That's right. Well, we did. We locked ourselves in the vault.
There you go. Yeah.
So I went on every vault tour that she did that day and just peppered her with
The
questions.
vault is such a unique experience.
It
Whenever
really
we're there,
is.
we try to create content because I think it's really the only place in the world where you can have all of these sets physically there from the very beginning to today. It's kind of the only place you can do that. So it's so unique when you get to go through.
And it's also funny. I also love how it's so secret agent when you go in there. You have to walk into the Lego house and then they've got this false door behind the display and the staircase. It's something straight out of a James Bond movie.
Right.
But
it makes you feel cooler going
That's
down.
right. Oh, very much so. Absolutely. Yeah. It's I'm really special getting to come down here. This vault. So that's long been my passion, is kind of the whole product line, the history. It's been really fun. So for the last year, I've been working for Blocks on this family tree. Actually, it's almost a year and a half now, which you guys have covered extensively with
those
Boone in your
articles
videos.
and blogs are super fun to look at.
Yeah.
I always take a look at those every time I get one on whatever the latest part of Lego history is that you're exploring and whatever the issue is.
Yeah, so that one's been really fun. So we're wrapping that up. I've actually written the last article now.
Okay.
It'll come out in the next one, and then we're rolling right into it now. Based on that relationship with the historian, I've been able to partner with her. We're actually going to do the Lego company's history decade by decade, and it has been. I don't know that I have ever enjoyed a article series more than Reddit. It's been fascinating to just really dig into the research and find out some of the early stories. It's amazing how Lego should not have happened. Lego emphatically should not have happened.
There were so many times along the way you're it could have just all stopped there and we wouldn't have gotten to where we are today.
Well, it was actually really fascinating. And I actually wrote an article about this. I think it's in the next issue of Blocks.
It's a little sneak peek teaser for everyone.
That's right, little sneak peek. But what was fascinating to me was my grandfather, I found out, actually grew up only about 200 miles from where Ole Kirk grew up. And it was actually crazy how they were only 11 years apart in age. And they really kind of paralleled each other's journey. So of course I had to call my dad up and be like, "Where's my multi-billion-dollar company that you inherited from grandpa? Come on!"
Let me down, Dad.
Because they were both tradesmen. They were both in that area. They both traveled abroad at about the same time. Both had to go back home from World War I. It was really interesting how it was when my grandpa went off and did blacksmithing instead of carpentry. So maybe that was the mistake.
Not quite as much money in blacksmithing, it turns out.
No, not as much as the Legos thing. So what can you do?
Yeah. No, that's fascinating. Well, thanks for sharing that again.
Yeah, of course.
So, make sure to check out Daniel's videos on the channel. You can just search his name on Beyond the Break, and his videos will pop up because we've recorded some really interesting ones with you over the years. So definitely check that stuff out. So then, what do you have for us today?
So I've got several things for you. So the first one that I wanted to talk about was, so there's also, in addition to Blocks, there's a new Lego magazine, different group of people being put out, but it's called Brick Fanatics magazine. Your viewership might be familiar with Brick Fanatics, the website.
Yes.
So they have now come out with this magazine as well, which is both kind of an extension to the website and then as well as a bunch of additional supplemental content. So
which is interesting, real quick, because I don't think we've really seen like a fan site turn into like a magazine.
Yeah,
like
that's
this.
why it's been really interesting, this transition. So yeah, because like with blocks, obviously it was magazine first and then kind of website that followed mostly in support of that. So it's actually really cool how they've been able to bring this together. So let me give a great example here. So this is issue. So there's been 4 issues thus far that have come out. And subscriptions available through the website. Really, actually, great deals, especially since you'll notice it's a little smaller than some magazines.
Yeah,
but
it's
that's
a unique size kind of style.
Yeah, it's kind of like the old. Gosh, I'm giving away my age here. Like kind of more the old Reader's Digest from the '90s.
Okay, yeah.
You're probably
some
too
of
young
our
for
older
that.
viewers.
Oh no. Oh, you're killing me. But so like they really, what they're really trying to do is kind of take it a deeper level. So one of the first things, I'll get to the one I was going to show you this, but one of the things I really enjoy about this, I'll flip it around here. So they've got these three folks that contribute regular articles. Jamie Wheeler, who many of you know, just got a job as a Lego designer.
Right, which is super cool.
And then Kevin Hinkle, who many of your people are probably familiar with, but the one a lot of people might not know of is this last guy, Christian Faber. And Christian actually worked he worked for a company that was contracted to Lego to do some of the preliminary designs of almost everything. Like the guy is fascinating to talk to. So like here he's talking about his experience. He did all the early designs of Pirates, all the early concept sketches, the posters and everything. So he has some really unique insights and he writes a regular article.
So he would be more related, like less on the physical brick side and more like concept, like artwork and that
concept
sort of
and artwork stuff, yeah. So
which is, I mean, I think an area that a lot of people don't think about, that before a lot of these physical bricks are, put together into a set, you've got all these ideas and designs that the designers and people are coming up with.
Yeah, and he just has some awesome stories. Like when they did Star Wars, they sent a Darth Vader costume to them, and he was like, "This is incredible! Like, I gotta look at the Darth Vader costume." But so like a perfect example of how they tie things in with the website is so there's an article. Find it here. So they took the Quidditch set that came out last year and asked the question, how many does it take to really make a great?
It's somewhere in here.
It's somewhere in here, yes. Right.
There's a lot of good content.
A lot of good content, yeah. See, maybe I should just act like a normal person and look at the table of contents. What a great idea. 56, there we go.
I think I saw briefly there's also something on the AFOL designer program, Bricklayers program. I know. So people have watched Boone's videos here on Beyond the Brick. I think his fire truck is in there, so another feature.
Yep, yeah, that was in the front here. But so like on the Quidditch, so they took the different Quidditch, the official one that came out, and then just messed with it in different ways, continually adding sets and say, okay, well, is this enough? What does it allow you to do if you have 1 copy, 2 copies, 3 copies? So, and then they got all the way up to 4 copies, which was, so then it was like, well, then you can do 2 different things with it. You can either double the height of all the towers, or you can have a crap ton of towers all the way around, and which is better. And so it's just like, it's kind of a cool way of saying, okay, you have this, what else can you do with it? What can you add to it? And then it ties in with the website, because it was, okay, well, we doubled the size. How did we do that? You can go to the website and get the instructions for how they actually did that. So a lot of cool things like that. And with the reviews is another area where they do something a bit unique. Because obviously, the complaint that always gets leveled at magazines is, well, I can get the reviews online, which is true. You can get the reviews online, and you can get them much faster. So what they've tried to do here is what they're calling their Review Plus, which again, maybe I should go to the actual table of contents here. And so you can see there, their cool little thing up here, Review Plus. So like with the Bastion one here, they're looking at his different abilities and all that, which again you can review, but then rebuilding and building it, they're doing it in different ways and things like that. And then there's another one where it's an even better example with the Cloud City that came out last year. They asked the question, well, okay, well, could you actually elevate it? Could you actually boost it up? Because a big complaint was it's so flat. Right. So instead of just reviewing the set and saying, oh, it's cool, it's got all the scenes, but it's kind of flat, they said, well, can you do something about
what's
that?
The potential?
Right. So you got the regular set and then elevate it. And kind of showing. So a lot of things of like their tagline really is the building your world of Lego. Like what can you do? How to take what both Lego's done and then also what you do on your own and doing it, that stuff like that. So kind of a lot of really cool hands-on stuff in there as well. And then a couple of big builds as well. You can see here with the Lego Movie 2, they did the big Statue of Liberty build for that. So, and then, another Christian favorite. This one was fun for me because, again, my thing being the history. I remember that this appeared in physical brick form in one of the old medium catalogs, so it was really fun to see the old sketch. That might have been before you were born. Continuing with the theme of making Daniel feel old on this video.
But that's how you lend so much of your
Oh,
knowledge
yes,
to us. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you again for that. Yeah, trying to bail me out here.
So for people who look at this and think they might want to check it out, where can people pick up the Brick Fanatics magazine?
So as of this month, in the UK, it's available in I believe it's Barnes and Noble and Smiths, I think is where it is over there. And then the best way to do it really is subscription. You can just go to the brickfanatics.com website. There's multiple different options, and it really, part of the beauty of it being on a smaller page is that they really can offer it very inexpensively.
Right.
So about $7 an issue. I don't know what that translates
Something
in over
right
to the
around there,
pounds, but I only know it on the U.S. side.
So then, do you have work in each issue yourself? Or?
I have a little bit. So I'm still primarily doing blocks, but again, my thing being the history stuff. They do the retro thing. So you're gonna love this one.
Yes.
There it is.
The
there
best
it is.
set ever. Right
second best. Black Sea's Barracuda. Black Sea's Barracuda is the best. But so I've done some retro stuff with them.
I love that. Yeah.
So,
and even kind of create the background.
Yeah. They have a really awesome graphic design.
Yeah.
So it was fun to see that. So they do some stuff like that. So
I'll have to check that article.
Absolutely. It'll take you back. It is a great set. That is a truly fantastic one. So,
Yes. Awesome. So then you also have some blocks.
Yeah, of course. Always got blocks here. So, but again, your readers are pretty familiar with blocks, with the great article or the issues that Boone does. Though I'm going to call him out right here. Boone, I planted a couple of articles back a specific shout out to you to see if you'd mention it, and you didn't. So it means you didn't actually read the article. So I'm a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. You and Boone had something going on here, and now we don't.
That's right. So I'm a little disappointed, but so blocks again. The big thing that we've been doing in there is Family Tree, which has been just a real delight. I have really enjoyed that project. But then, of course, supplemented with what's been great about a magazine that's been around as long as Blocks, and we're coming up on 5 years. We are about to hit issue 60, which just blows my mind. They come so hard and fast. They kind of all blend together. But what's been really cool is the ability to build relationships within Lego that have gone on now for a while, and what that's allowed and led us to be able to do is things like with the Lego Movie 2. So we got a lot of really cool behind-the-scenes interviews and information and graphics and stuff. So that just showing how they evolved the different things that appeared in the movie. Seeing things like the different vehicles. And they actually they trusted us enough to share the concept sketches with us to really see.
Look at this
And that's again I don't know that every fan is like me, but the two things I really love are like the history stuff and then the behind the scenes. How do the sets actually get designed? With Sweet Mayhem's helmet, you can see all the different ones, and someone was like, "Oh gosh, I'm glad they didn't do that one." That was always really weird, but so it's been cool to develop that relationship with Lego. And now 5 years in, to see what that yields and gives us.
So you'll be writing like a 5-year history of Blocks article to look back on.
It was actually kind of fun. So for our 50th issue, we actually did do kind of a retrospective where there's now 3 of us that have been there. Not quite from the beginning, but I came in at issue 8. I think the other 2 came in at like issue 7. So we've been there for most of it. And so it was kind of weird. Like we can kind of do a retrospective on ourselves. We can go back and we were counting how many articles we'd each written. It was like, good golly, we have written a lot of articles. And then just some of the opportunities we've gotten to do, things like you've gotten to experience with the vault and all other stuff. And it opens up doors that are really fun to be able to
getting that access to some of these things is a big part of working for the community.
Yep, and it's a blast to get to do it. So Blocks is continuing on. So a little sad to see Family Tree go, but I'm excited about what comes next. And of course we have all of our favorites, the regular things like the Brick Wife is always a big one. Her wry observations of how strange we are. So it's always a little funny too. Like you can tell she reads the magazine because she'll sometimes call myself and Graham out.
Okay.
She's always kind enough to not do it by name, but she'll say things like, "So a fellow contributor mentioned in one of his articles that he has over 1,000 Lego sets." And, you know, that was ridiculous. His words, not mine.
Plays off the other articles.
Yes, yeah. She likes to lampoon us, and justifiably so.
So then, for people who maybe get the magazine and have read your work and are interested, is this kind of your full-time job writing for these magazines,
Nope.
or how does that work?
No, this is complete part-time for me. So
okay.
yeah, I do. I'm an engineer by day. I do water and wastewater engineering.
Gotcha.
So kind of parlayed a love of Lego into being an engineer.
Yeah.
So this is completely on the side. I do this in my free time. Why I don't have something to actually display this year because I've been spending so much time writing this last year, but it's fun. So yeah, so I do that completely on the side, kind of as an extracurricular. I was already doing Lego as my extracurricular, so now I get paid for it.
But, yeah,
Works
that's
great.
Awesome. So then, since you do, mostly write for the Lego magazine, when you come to a show, what's kind of your approach to that in terms of like what you're looking at shows and kind of what you get out of a convention experience?
Yeah. So what's interesting about that is it's actually gotten less and less through the years because we do feature builders. We absolutely do that in both of the magazines.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
And so I'll always be looking for people to connect with that. But it's the challenge for us is like show reports when you just write about a show. We did that at first, but when you're writing about them, it's hey, they have a Wells, they got together, they did displays for 4 days. Like it's hard to write about, and you can only show them. Like you guys are lucky, you can show them videos, you can show them the whole thing.
Right.
Where I have a funny story to tell you about that. But for us, writing about it, we tend to not do as much with that. So it's more just about connecting with new people that we might want to feature in a later issue or something like that.
Sure.
Trying to find cool content and things like that. But in terms of like show reports and things like that, it's mostly about trying to get publicize the magazine and get it in more people's hands. So, but anyway, so your videos. So I was laughing about this the other day. So I had a friend who asked me, he's like, "Have you ever seen a really cool sci-fi bridge?" I was like, "Yes, I have seen a cool sci-fi bridge. It was at Brick Fair, Virginia, 2 years ago." It's like, and I could not remember who built it. It's like, but I'll bet you, beyond the brick, walked around, and I'll bet you I can find it. And sure enough, I sat down for an hour and I walked.
Oh, wow.
And you didn't focus on it, but at one point you passed it. I was able to freeze it and get the name off of
That's
it. So,
dedication. Well, thank
that's
you. I'm
right,
glad we
that's
could
right.
be that resource.
I appreciate it. Appreciate you taking care of me there. So.
We try to do that when we can. As much content as possible. Show what's
That's
going
right.
on in the
There you
show.
go. Well, it worked well for me in that particular instance. So, but yeah. So I just enjoyed coming to shows. I came to them before I wrote the magazine. I just enjoy the atmosphere and stuff, and then being able to talk about blocks and now Brick Fanatics and get it into people's hands. And then it's always fun, as you guys know, when you come up and say, "Hey, I want to feature you in a video or in a magazine." Just seeing the eyes.
Oh yeah,
it's
it's very mutual at that point. You get great content, and then they get their content, their builds or whatever out there, and it's perfect. So
yeah,
it's really nice.
It's a lot of fun just to have that opportunity to encourage people and have them get excited about it, and then also, as you said, get great content.
For sure.
Works very well.
So I know you come here to Philly usually every year. What other shows you have planned? If maybe months to maybe see some of the stuff you've done? Or?
Yeah, so I will be at Brick Fair this year, and then actually this was actually kind of fun. And coming off of the family tree, I was asked to be the keynote speaker at Brick Fiesta down in Texas in 2020. So I'll be down there for that one, and there's ones around here as well. So that's fun. I actually moved here from Texas, so I'm excited to go back. I wish they did it in the winter.
Oh,
of the summer.
trust me, I feel like going down there from northern Indiana, I'm not used to it. Just spend as little time outdoors as possible is mostly what happens.
Yeah, it was miserable for me because I grew up in Indiana, in Bloomington, and then I moved to Texas. I was like, there is a place where there isn't winter, and you can live there, and you can make money, and like get a job, and then I can move back up here. It was like, it was the right move, but it was like, oh, the weather. I miss the weather in Texas. What can you do?
Yeah, I know. That's awesome. Well, I'm so glad you could show us the work of the new Brick Fanatics magazine and everything. So
absolutely. No, definitely check them both out. It's all good stuff. Really
once again, so Brick Fanatics and Blocks. I'm sure if you just Google out or go to the website,
absolutely,
you can
either or, they're there.
Check the magazines out, because there really is something something nice about having like a physical product you
There
can
is,
sit down and read.
yeah.
And obviously, like what the writing you're giving on the history, like that's very original content and stuff that's only available in the magazine.
And what's also nice about it, the beauty of the magazines, really, in my mind, is twofold. The first is like with something like Family Tree, you could never do that online. They're too long.
Right.
Like that's the reality. They're too long, and so you can kind of do these long form series where you can really like Family Tree was fascinating to find out. The Lego product portfolio breaks down into 5 categories. Like at the end of the day, if you go up to the macro view, it's 5 categories, which just blew my mind. And then the ability to also, it's kind of curated, which is nice. Like it's, there's so much available online, which is great on one hand, but sometimes it's nice to have, okay, I want to know how to do rock work, and you can find an article on how to do rock work. And it's really well photographed, and it's explaining how it's done. It's been edited and all of that. So those are the 2 big advantages. So. And also, it's nice to hold something.
Right,
I'm old school, as we've established.
No, I get that as well. I appreciate that. But something I wanted to ask you earlier when you were talking about kind of how you focus on the history and everything. Do you feel like you're drawn to that? Do you have like a historical background at all with your education or anything, or is that just something related to Lego? Do you feel like that's the area you
I have honestly sat down and I wanted to write an article, but I was like, why is it that I just love the history so much?
You like psychoanalyze yourself.
Yeah, I have sat down and thought about it. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it just fascinates me. I was born, in the early '80s, so I kind of came in right as the minifigure was being established. So I've kind of been there for the whole modern era of Lego, if you will. So I don't know if it's just sheer nostalgia or what it is, but I find it fascinating. I love the kind of the interweaving of the company's history and the products and how they came out and kind of the rises and falls and all that.
And the insight, I'm sure you also feel like that gives insight then into current day products, and so you're learning about kind of where the company's going and what's happening now by studying that history.
It's really interesting to just see the different patterns and the things they come back to and the things they stay away from. Darn it, they haven't come back to Wild West. Why haven't we gotten a Fort Lego remake?
We had the Lone Ranger, which I don't think ended up doing too well.
No, and it didn't have a fort. Even,
right, exactly. So we Lego needs to get on that.
That's right, they really do. They really do. So.
Awesome stuff, Daniel. Well, it's great chatting with you.
As always, good to see you.
Yeah,
my pleasure.
Thanks so much for bringing the magazines on by.
Of course.
Yeah, everybody check out the blocks and Brick Fanatics. So thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, and finally, he has arrived.
It's your worst nightmare.
That's right. I thought they banned you from coming back. Thanks.
Mum's the word. The EP is back. You're executive producer.
Oh, man, I've been talking. Is this water? I should drink some water, man. It's been like hardcore. How long have we been going for? I don't know.
At least
Thank
2
you
hours.
Everyone who's tuned in, if you've been sticking with us the whole time, I hope you've enjoyed this because this is very different from what we normally do in a show. So it's this is just kind of much more like on-the-spot content. We talk to people that we can't normally feature.
They let people hijack the show.
Right, exactly. You never know what's going to happen. So I hope you've been enjoying this because it's always fun to do this in Philly. This is really the only show we do this at, so it's unique.
Yeah. So show you all got all the room to do it, correct?
Mm-hmm. You're really good about giving stage and lights and that kind of stuff. So
I got a few people lined up. They're creeping up here.
Are they?
Yes, they are.
Do they have good stuff or is it the usual stuff?
No, I've got good stuff. You haven't put this one guy. You've had him on the show before, but you haven't had his one mock on.
Okay.
BX, the guy with the Transformers.
Yes.
So he's got something special. As he's slowly creeping over here.
He's taking his time.
Yes. Well,
okay.
you know how talent is.
They don't care about production schedules or anything. They just arrive. They expect craft services to be there.
Of course. You know how it is. Oh, here's my man right here.
Okay. Well, thank you for the help. We always appreciate it.
He's an awesome builder. He was a designated builder during bowling last night.
Oh, yes. Good stuff. Okay. What is your name?
Lego Man 130.
Okay, good to meet you. Lego Man 130. So if you want to tell us what you brought here.
This is my dive bar mop. I've been to companies before and I got some inspiration from them. So here I have my bar and then there's some motorcycles around it and here's the taps, the beer, and the cups are underneath there, the bar, and then right here I have my band and I got a Trump sign because I like Trump, and
I got some tables around the sides and in the back. I got a kitchen with a fridge, stove, and like a counter for the food to go out. And yeah.
So is this based on like a real bar anywhere?
Kind of, but I mostly came up with it on my own.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've got a lot of very unique minifigs, so talk about some of the minifigs in this build and kind of how those came together.
Well, those, I just made it like a biker group where they had the same torso, and some other people are just like friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice work. So do you always build sort of like modular building type of this style, or do you have other types of builds and themes you do?
Yeah, I build mostly buildings and vehicles.
Okay. Cool. So how many years have you been coming to Philly Brick Fest?
Well, this is my first year displaying, and it's third year coming. Like the first 2 years, I came just like today and looked around.
Right. So you used to do the public time, and now you really get to experience the full show. What's that been like for you? Because there's so much cool like behind the scenes stuff and games and activities and things.
Yeah, it's really fun. I won a lot of stuff.
Have you been able? So like last night, John and I did the build and bowl. Were you there?
Yeah. I was.
Awesome. So that was super fun. So talk about what that was like for you, and like how that works.
Yeah. So we get into a team, and then get a set, and then we have to build, and then tag the next person, and then you keep building the set until you're finished, and whoever has the highest score wins all the sets, and like a minifigure.
So it's the only place I've ever seen bowling and building Lego combined into one, and it was super fun.
Yeah, it was.
Have you done any other games or activities or build contests, anything like that?
Yeah, I did Blast the Figs, Silent Build Challenge.
What's Blast the Fig?
You get a Nerf gun, and there's a bunch of minifigures on the wall, and whoever gets the most down wins.
Okay,
And
so
then
you
you keep
it
going.
combines Nerf with Lego, so you get a lot of non-Lego things combined with Lego.
Yeah.
Awesome, that's a lot of fun. So I'm glad you could come to the show and
Thanks.
do this. Thank you. Nerf. Oh, be careful, you don't want to break it. So how are things going? Do we have? Oh, it looks like we have. Whoa. So I think this guest came from quite some distance to join us here at Philly Brick Fest. Yes, have a seat. All the way from Wakanda. There you go.
Thank you.
This is an unexpected but very nice visit.
Yes, thank you. You
So-
guys are very prestige in my country.
Thank you. Yes, we know we are. We try to be popular across the board and appeal to all audiences.
Yes. What's going on with you guys this year?
Great. So we've been live streaming for a while. We did a meet and greet earlier. We were able to meet a bunch of the public, which was super cool. So, you know, if anyone ever sees us at a show, feel free to come up and say hi. I signed a kid's cast and he had it on his arm. I've never done that before. So that was fun.
You guys are celebrities, man. Like,
That was a lot of, yeah, really cool. So then talk about what you have on though, because this is very unique.
oh yeah. So just outside of having something to display at the tables, I want to be able to walk around with something. I've seen a couple of people do the hats or chest plates and stuff. So with the popularity of the Black Panther and the Marvel universe, I decided to go with something kind of simple, but that'll stand out.
Sure. So what's the structure on this like? Does it stay on pretty easily as it all
Yeah,
parts
like
walk around?
it supports itself really well. It took me about 2 nights to design. It's mostly a lot of toe ball joints holding everything together, finding the right angles. It all started from the eyes right here.
Okay. Those are sort of like canopy pieces almost.
Yeah, like a smoky brown canopy piece. So these are pretty cool. I think the hardest part was like trying to figure out where to put the ears, because you can't really see them. You put them too far up, I look like Batman.
Yeah, that's true.
One person called me Darth Maul one person called me Darth Vader. So it's cool.
Yeah.
But it does get hot after a while. Like as I'm walking, I can feel the air go through the cracks, and I'm okay. But when I'm just sitting down or standing, then I'm like dripping, sweating there. I'm like, oh God, I gotta do it for the people. Do it for the people.
Well, thank you. We appreciate your sacrifice.
Thank you.
There you go. So you also have the necklace that goes with it as well.
Yes. Like these, I think they're bionicle pieces.
They look
These
like
were
it.
perfect for the teeth on the Black Panther necklace.
Yeah, awesome. So then, you also brought a nice little build with you here. So I know we featured your Transformers builds in the past. So for anyone who wants to check those out, check that out on the channel and check out the Transformers builds. They're super cool. But is this a new one here?
Yeah, these are one of the aerial bots. About 5 of these guys combined into a giant robot. So I'm just going to show you how to transform this real quick.
Is that the camera? There. Okay, you can show it to that camera there.
Alright. So here we fold the wings out, fold the feet out, fold this canopy section back, take the legs and split them, fold the little feet out, and you got the arms going, and there you got a robot.
Fantastic.
Thank you. I try to bring the simple ones up here. Some of these guys take a half hour to transform, so definitely swing by the YouTube channel and check that out.
Yeah, where is that?
Just YouTube BX Bricks. Anything, social media, it's all BX Bricks.
BX Bricks, so yeah, check it out again. It's awesome stuff. And also, you can check your stuff out at the show. So if you come to Philly Brick Fest, do you go to other shows as well? Do you want to see these builds?
I do bricks, sir.
Sorry, some fans are a little annoying. I apologize.
I want my shout out.
Shout out to the crazy guy, Savage Plastic, or Classic Plastic as he likes to be called.
That's the thing, with live streaming you have hecklers and you just have to kind of put up with that and just keep moving on.
That's what makes it interesting.
Right, that's true.
Reality TV, you know. Well, yeah, I'm going to be at a Brick Fair. I believe that's going to be in September in Secaucus, New Jersey.
Okay, New Jersey, yeah.
I'm going to be in Brick Fair in Virginia. That's like beginning of August.
Sure.
Yeah, one day or 1 year I want to get to Brick World in Chicago. If not this year, then definitely next year. I heard it's crazy out there.
Yes, it's awesome. They don't close the convention hall, so it's open 24 hours. So everybody can stick around the convention hall, do whatever they want. Very fun.
Oh, you don't have to get a hotel. I can sleep there under the table, right?
Some people have definitely slept under the table. I don't think the show endorses that, but
Oh, if they can't find me, then they don't know, right?
Exactly.
Get a couple of candy bars under there and a pillow, I'll be all right.
Just camp out, man.
Yeah, get the full experience, you know? Yes.
Awesome. So how many of these Transformers do you have now?
Last year I bought 108. This year I have 114.
Wow.
So I have 5 combiners and then a whole pyramid that lights up full of these guys. So I tried.
Here, go ahead.
Well, no, every convention I do, I try to bring at least 20 new characters that nobody's seen yet to give the public a little sneak peek at what's going on, you know?
How many years have you been doing this? When did this kind of Transformer project start for you?
Back in 2014, I started it as I entered somebody's contest as a Lego Transformer builder, and I got such a great response that I was like, let me try out to do a few more models and see where it goes from there. And like tons of people recognize me now, and I'm like considered one of the top Lego Transformer builders, whatever that means, you know.
No, I agree. I think you are, and your stuff is amazing. I mean, you watch it transform. I mean, the fact that you can take Lego, which obviously is a very, it's plastic. It's not made to be very malleable by any means. So the fact that you can take that and transform into different characters is really amazing. And obviously, it takes a lot of thought process on your part, figuring out how to make it look like, both the Transformer and the other character.
Oh, of course. The engineering is the challenge that really, keeps my mind alive. So this is like a therapy for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, do you have a background in engineering, or sort of like your job or professionally at all, or is this just kind of the Lego stuff you do?
Well, my day job, I'm a technician and I fix phones, but I've always done repairs throughout my life. Started repairing VCRs when I was 5, but I've always had Legos. I've always loved Transformers. So as an adult, it's kind of cheaper to buy a handful of Legos to build any Transformer you want versus buying every Transformer you want.
Right.
Yeah, so that means it's now I get to build my own collection and upgrade them as I get better and better.
For sure, yeah. Well, impressive work. I hope you keep up the good work. And so, outside of Transformers, you've got the mask. Do you make? What other types of builds would you say you generally do?
Well, I'm noticing a trend that I'm building a lot of like retro 80s type of cartoons. So I got the Thundercats layer over there on the table. I got some Brickbot Avengers. What else? I got some board games that I do. Yeah, and I'm starting to get into modulars now. So I have like a little bodega deli sitting on the table as well. So
nice. So you kind of expand out and just keep kind of challenging yourself in other areas.
yeah, I mean, I've never like Transformers is what I'm known for, but I've done commissioned work for other companies as like company logos, complete buildings and stuff like that. So you know, anything you want from me, you could always contact me, and I can build it for you. No limitations.
And there you go. So let's get it. BX Bricks, right?
Yes.
Pick up BX Bricks online, YouTube, anywhere. Follow great work. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me again.
By, yeah.
All right.
And enjoy the rest of the show. Let's see. You never know who's going to pop up next here. Oh no. What is this?
Well, I got inspired since I went to Brick Fair, Virginia, and I met the guys from Rebel Lug and Empire Lug, and I think I could do something close to it.
And you got inspired.
I did. So I thought, what's the best mock I could do? And I thought I would do an Alderaan mock. Realistic?
Please, take us through the details of this beautiful build.
Well, I had to sort the browns and the tans
from the rest of the collection, which I'm sure took a while.
Yeah, it took about 4 minutes. Are you impressed?
I'm always impressed by what you do. Oh, mock card, just in case anyone's confused.
Yes, so there's no confusion whatsoever. Now, can we get a picture of that?
Sure, I think this is when we take the live stream selfie with the build. Okay, so here we go. There we go.
I'm just full of entertainment, aren't I?
You are. You're always full of entertainment.
I'm full of something.
Classic plastic bricks.
That's me.
That's you. So what are you doing here at the show?
Hanging out, playing security for AC Pen.
Oh.
Keeping Kevin Hinkle company. Hey, Kevin.
Oh, Heinkel's over there right now, isn't he?
Yeah, looks like he could use some love.
That's right. Him and Alan. Shout out to the Brick fan. Alan's here. That's cool. Alan doesn't make it out to many shows.
I think this is the only one.
This is exclusive. You gotta, if you're a fan of the Brick fan, which I mean a lot of people are, then you gotta come to Philly Brick Fest so you can meet Alan Train in person.
Oh yeah, guess who he hangs out all show? Hey Al! Al! Who you hang out with all during the show? Come on!
Even when you're on stage, you're heckling people off stage.
You got to.
That's right.
I got one quick.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
Oh my God. All right, come on.
I should have stayed away.
You should have. But I'm the EP now, so you have no choice.
That's true.
So I only have one question.
This live stream
Who
looks
you
good.
hanging out with during the show? With?
I hang out with everybody.
Mostly. Who do you prefer to hang out with?
Kevin Hinkle.
No. Wrong answer.
All right, this guy right here.
Oh, that's right.
This guy right here.
How many shows do you go to a year?
Just one.
What would that be?
This one right here.
Nice.
And I get to hang out with this guy.
Yeah, you're a lucky guy. Now, are you playing security for Mr. Hinkle?
Oh, yes, I am.
Lucky, I had to play security for AC Pen.
Oh.
Yeah, he didn't help out there, so I'm sitting there for 2 hours.
Where?
Watching all his stuff.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. I'm trying to flag you down. You're like,
I see you there. I walked straight by you.
you're sitting over there, just sashaying, doing nothing, working, chasing people off, all this stuff.
I was over here with him. Well, not him, but AC. Yeah, it does.
If you don't need to go back over there,
Yeah,
keep company.
Did I?
Okay.
Oh my God.
John says that we're getting off track here, guys. You wouldn't do that to the live stream, would you?
Oh, this is a live stream. See you guys.
Okay, wow. This is why you can't have other people sit down on the live stream here at Philly, man. It just gets out of hand so quickly, but I'm just so in awe of this build. I mean, it's great. You can just sit here, you run your finger. Whoa, what is this? It's a purple piece. That's not supposed to be an Alderaan. We're gonna throw that over there. Okay, well, that might about finish it for us. Is anybody else coming?
We got a couple more.
Couple more, okay. We're gonna stick with you for a little while longer. How's the comments been, John?
Good.
Good comments. Sorry I haven't been able to keep an eye on them here, but I hope you enjoyed what we've done with the live stream this year. We tried to improve the look of it, showing the builds easier, so it should be pretty good. But yeah, it's always a fantastic time here at Philly Brick Fest. Very unique show, especially if you're a Lego YouTuber. I definitely recommend checking it out because.
Pause for a photo.
Okay, real quick.
Stay alive.
We need to grab a photo real quick with a fan, so we'll be back in a minute.
Do it right here.
Okay, do we have more guests on the way?
There's several people.
It looks like there's some folks back on their way over here. Classic Plastic, shout out. I was always helping us schedule things. What happened? Whoa. We're moving it over like get this garbage out of here.
Not feeling garbage.
Whoa, what is this? Okay, we'll make some room here.
I said bring a tag, they brought everything.
Okay, move the mic back a bit. Don't drop anything.
I have 2 more chairs, give me a minute.
We'll get some more chairs in here for you guys.
I got it.
Yeah, just to make sure we'll get the sections. So it looks like you guys all brought over your section in the build. Awesome, guys. We'll let this get set up and then you can see the complete build. It might be hard to show, but yeah, just set the sections down and we can kind of have you talk about each of them. It's hard to show everything at once. Don't want to drop anything here. There you go. Perfect. So, John, you'll have to try to do whatever you can to show this the best way possible, but...
Should we slide it up?
Oh, yeah, right there's good. Yeah, which can... There you go, we'll put the mic here. So, well, you can have all 3 of you guys sit down and... Ready. You want to put the mics further over this way? There we go. Yeah, just push it in a bit. There we go. This way we can hear all of you guys. Yep, you're good.
Talk right in the mic when you're speaking.
Well, okay, so after a brief setting up time there, so guys, make sure you just talk loud and you talk into the mic, and that way everybody can hear you. If you want to start down here and just introduce yourselves. Go ahead.
I'm Otto. I'm Lorraine. And I'm Max.
Okay, and so are you guys just friends that work on this together, or how do you know each other? Okay, awesome, that's super cool. So then take us through the build and kind of each section here. What do we have?
So this is the model of the first 1949.
Plug the mic back in there.
Southwestern so this is the last major German offensive.
So this is based on the real life battle of Kursk. And so as you guys were working on this, were you looking at like photographs and kind of records from the battle, or what was the research like?
Mostly photographs. Some of the early films they had at the battle, or documentaries and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then just going through and studying which tank was around at the battle.
Trying to make it as accurate as possible. Okay. So then we'll start with you down here then, and which section did you do, and talk about how that came together?
Okay, so I did the trees and then basically like the understructure. It wasn't too hard. We had to plan a little bit. We did like the blueprints. So we just used like colored bricks underneath to kind of build it up so that he could lay the landscape. And then with the trees, we just built it up with these bricks.
we put the tubes in inside.
Yeah, we put the tubes in inside. We put the leaves in each section right there.
Yeah, I like the textured brown bricks there because it looks like almost like bark on the tree.
Yeah, and then we put the grass on top to give it kind of like a sprout inside them.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, and so then what was your section?
I mostly supplied soldiers and tanks. So the Lego doesn't make World War II soldiers, so sometimes they can be hard to find. But I was able to get them quite a bit from different sources. So yeah. And then
pick some of the minifigs up from like Brickmania or companies like that.
Yeah, Brickmania mostly. Also, they have good tanks, so these are Brickmania tanks.
Yeah.
The minifigures, I really wanted to make it perfectly historically accurate, so I checked all the insignia and the right camouflage and all the markings
Great.
for the right time.
Very nice.
I actually designed a blueprint for this build. He helped me with it. He decided where this road was going to be, where the tanks would be placed, and where the soldiers would be coming from. The trench was sort of, I guess I explained to him what it should look like. It needs to slope from both the front and the back. So because it's mid-war, they just prepared these trenches early for the German offensive, and
so sort of a very hurried trench, and so not super deep and just all over the place.
It worked really well.
So you kind of made that you laid it all out in your mind basically before you started on like where you wanted everything. Okay. What inspired you guys to do this particular battle? How did you decide on that?
Well, last year we did Battle of Berlin. We liked it. I mean, personally, I think we could have done better, but so we tried again this year.
Yeah.
So Berlin was mostly urban city fighting, so we wanted to do something more out in the open, and not late war like the other ones. So got interested.
So as you collaborate on this, the three of you, are you building all like physically in the same room as you work on this, or separately, and then just kind of talking with each other and keeping each other updated?
Yeah, we came over to each other's houses mostly to work on it.
Yeah.
When we could, and just got each other's phone numbers and kept in touch. So.
Sure. Awesome work. Yeah, and I love the military builds here. So what's the public's reaction when they come up and see a build like this that's kind of based on a real life battle? Are people familiar with it, or what is their reaction?
Most people are familiar with World War II, but usually they're not aware of the exact battles. So it's like it's a good way to I think it's better than looking at a textbook. It's more fun. So
it sort of like brings it to life almost, like the diorama. Really, you can see it in your mind a lot easier than just reading it in a book.
Yeah, and then when like people point out like, oh wow, a tank, and then you can explain what role that tank played, and it's more interesting for people, I guess.
Seeing a picture of a tank isn't exciting. It's like, oh cool, that existed.
So when we have a 3D model, it kind of makes it cool.
Right, the 3D model really brings it to life. That's fantastic, guys. This is so cool. So do you have plans for the three of you to collaborate in the future and do more projects together?
Next year, probably thinking of coming back with either a German airfield in France or North Africa.
Sure.
Early war. So,
Well, great work. Thank you so much for bringing it on by. I'm so glad you can come out here to Philly. I hope you've been enjoying the show. Have you done games and that kind of stuff, or any of the other
Yeah, we
activities?
went around, looked at the other builds. A lot of cool stuff this year. So, yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Well, thank you. It was great to meet all of you. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Did you guys get some stickers here? I can give you. Here's some Beyond the Brick stickers for each of you. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the live stream, guys.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
And for transporting the build over, that's not easy.
Yeah, just got a whole bunch of boxes and tried
We'll move this out of the way so you can get it back.
Yeah.
It was his idea to make the different plates.
Okay.
I believe they watched each and every of your videos. So that's
Awesome. Well, thanks for watching.
Because I recognize you by voice.
So glad you guys could stop by. Keep up the good work. We'll look forward to seeing more in the future.
Well, actually, to add, they were watching some, what was the movie that when you found this
I forgot which one.
There was a Hollywood movie about Second World War, and while
Okay.
watching, they found in the movie set there were wrong parts that were historically not correct.
So they recognize inaccurate movies now through their belts. Awesome. Well, thank you once again. Yeah.
I got another gentleman. Very cool build.
Okay, so we've got one more build coming up here. Thanks again, everyone who's joined us on the live stream. Hope you've been enjoying this content. How's it going?
It's going well.
Awesome. I love this giant build here. Very cool. So if you want to introduce yourself to people, and then we'll dive into the build.
Hi, my name's Andrew Page, and I'm from Garden Slug in New Jersey.
Okay. So for people who aren't familiar with like what a lug is, explain that real quick.
A lug is a Lego users group, so ours is an adult lug, so 18 and over, and it's a group of people who are into the Lego hobby and kind of meet about 5 times a year for fun activities. We do trade parts, split sets up, and you get a lot of one particular part. Meet for parties and social events, and we display at about 12 to 14, probably about 12 events.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, and I think I've seen a number of Garden Slug members around here and some great builds on display over there, so that's really cool.
Thank you.
And then what is this build here?
So this is a series I did where I started imagining what Unikitty would be if she was being different things. So I brought over Bat Kitty today. This is a new build I made just for this show. Finished it up yesterday.
Yeah, so you've got the pink, some pink under there, so it's still the Unikitty look, but
Little
obviously in the Batman costume.
Yeah, and I wanted this to look very much like a costume.
Okay.
So we weren't supposed to be able to guess the secret identity. Let's hope no one's listening to this live. That's any of the enemies, but we'll do all right.
Yeah, so what's the design process on this like? Do you just build from the bottom up, or?
So I did, this one was interesting because the logo was new for this one. I have about 5 or 6 of these, so the pattern's well known.
Yeah.
But because the logo was the first time I had to extend into the tail to get the width, I actually built the logo first. So I built from the top and the bottom and kind of met in the middle.
There you go.
Never tried that before.
That works. And is it all basic, like kind of 2x4 brick, or?
It's all 2x4 brick with just a couple small bricks for the accents around some of the curves parts, but it's 99% just 2x4.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, that's super impressive. So what are the other ones you've done in the past?
So I've the first one I did was a jack-o'-lantern, and you kind of
Okay.
put some battery lights in it. And then I've done one that's based on Creeper, and there's a few more in my head.
Yeah, you never know what's going to come out next. So do you typically build in this sort of like model genre like this, where you're just using like kind of basic brick, or do you build in other themes as well?
My actual primary theme is robotics. So
Oh, really?
I teach robotics for students who are trying to recruit for Rutgers University.
Okay.
So I usually do a large number of builds along that. I've done pinball machines, GBC modules. So
Yeah.
this is sort of, when I'm building things that don't move, this is sort of the style that I do.
Gotcha. Yeah, very cool. So talk about kind of building in these two different styles, because they are very different. It's sort of like things that move versus this, and the challenges of each, or how those each come together.
So I'm my degree's in physics, so I'm far more of an engineer than an artist. So I actually find that to be easier for me.
Okay.
This is, the sculptural work is not something I really trained for, so it took a little while to get used to being able to see the Unikitty figures really has more curves to it than you think. Between the horn and the arches, and being able to translate that into sort of a pixelated look was kind of an experimental process.
Sure, yeah. But I think you've definitely got it down as well. So how do you've got the different levels of bricks here. Is that difficult, kind of planing that out and getting that right so you can inset some of the face and stuff?
It's built by layers, so
Okay.
you generally see it. The key is to figure out, because it uses the brick pattern, so the bricks face in each layer, they face alternate, so they interlock stronger. When you want something centered, it kind of helps to pick the right layer so the centering is correct. But again, if you build Technic, you have a lot of things that require very careful centering as well, so that piece was familiar.
Sure. Well, great work here. So I look forward to seeing more of your builds like this in the future and what you bring to future shows.
We'll be back here next year.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great build. Okay. Would you like to join for the ending here? So we'll have our friend Classic Plastic back on stage. So I don't know how long we've been going for now, but this has been great. This is always a lot of fun to do. You know, we get a lot of people that we don't normally record videos with on the convention floor. They get to come up and chat.
Oh,
so
who helps you with that?
we appreciate you. your build's not so much.
We doing this tomorrow?
There's a good chance. I think we might. So yeah, anyone watching right now, there's a good chance we'll be back on the live stage tomorrow here. New people coming up. See who we can chat with. You never know who's going to come up on stage, right?
Let's see what trouble we can get in tomorrow.
That's right. That's the number one goal of the live stream. Let's see what trouble we can get into.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll see ya. Thank you once again, everyone, for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy some of this live coverage, something different for us that we don't normally get to do at conventions. So we always enjoy chatting with people here. And yeah, we'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching.